Hi, this is Darlene Dara from Right at Home Realty, and this is Let's Talk Real Estate, your real estate update for February 20th. So, what is the media talking about today? It's talking about the housing crunch. We've been talking about this for the last while, that government needs to really be doing constructive policy decisions based on supply and demand, and now it's being confirmed again by many specialists as well. They're saying that the housing crunch, and that again is about supply and demand, is really going to start affecting the skilled labor force that's coming into Toronto, GTA, and surrounding areas, which does include the area that I'm servicing primarily, which is Oakville, Burlington, Toronto, Mississauga, and beyond, and the GTA and Golden Horseshoe. So what do we say? Well, a lot of times it's about either rents or not being able to get places at all. That really is starting to discourage people from coming in, and a lot of young professionals in particular are looking for rentals. And it actually can also be affecting our schooling, because not everyone will be going into residence, and if they can't really find appropriate housing, they may choose to actually go to another college or university elsewhere. So it really is becoming a real issue as well. So they said that a survey that was recently done last summer said that 83% of 803 young professionals aged 18 to 39 were saying that they were really struggling to not only save but also to find accommodations. So it's really a problem that really is going to affect everyone. So the Toronto Board of Trade is calling for denser housing, particularly in Toronto, but we're also seeing that really hitting the surrounding areas as well. They're also talking about reducing the demand and cost for municipal planning departments by allowing applicants to provide third-party licensed engineers and architects to vouch for the project's compliance with the building code. Really, because if you're always waiting for government officials, there's just a shortage, and again, things just get so delayed, which can have a serious effect not only with single detached homes, but really in particular when you're trying to do a condo development. They're also saying to boost the supply of rentals by really altering the more restrictive rent controls. They're not saying to necessarily get rid of them completely, but they're just quite frankly just too low. This 2% that they or less they've implemented is really too low. They're saying at a minimum it should be 5%. It's really starting to affect really rental buildings even being built, and it is also discouraging investors in things like pension funds who actually really start to pull their money together. It's not even individual financing. And they really stop, which then affects things like condo developments to even be started in the first place. So that it really does have a serious impact. The other thing that they're talking about is changing planning laws to encourage denser housing. And also around transit stations. We are seeing a lot of complexes built around transportation hubs. In Toronto it will be TTC or GO Train. In the outlying areas it's GO Train and bus routes. So it's really important. They're saying that really a lot of times we're seeing the immigration numbers are not changing, and they really are demanding that more housing be really constructed in a timely fashion. Another thing that they're saying is to enforce the expedited timelines for municipal infrastructure projects such as roads, sidewalks, and transit. And that again can delay housing development. And to use one of the key things, though, that people have been screaming about for a while is to start using public land for housing developments. And so that really has been a problem, because as the government has really started to pounce on regulations and trying to really put restrictions on mortgaging and everything else, they haven't really released public land that's just sitting there dormant for proper housing. So there is a lot that the government can be doing, and they really just have refused to address the supply issue. They just keep pounding on the demand issue. And so we're seeing that the rental prices on average, they're saying, is around $2,100 for a one bedroom, and many times you're going into the high 2000s, like 27, 28 for a two bedroom. Three bedroom are just such a rare commodity. They don't often even put it on the scale. And the detached houses in Toronto as an example, and we're no different really in Oakville, the average was really 736,000 as opposed to 481 nationwide. Now, I'm not sure exactly what you'd be getting for a 736,000. It probably is a townhouse. It's definitely not a detached house. And in many cases, even in Oakville and Burlington, you're getting a townhouse for that price as well. So again, if somebody's buying it, it has to be affordable. So again, rent controls are affecting it, and all the other things we just talked about. So really, we're really starting to see a ramped up, especially as we get into a provincial election. People really starting to demand, if the government is going to get involved, they need to do their part, which is really not just on the demand side. They need to be really implementing really constructive, intelligent, and workable policies as well. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed our latest podcast, and we will see you again.